خلق الشمس والقمر. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَمْ تَرَوْا كَيْفَ خَلَقَ اللَّهُ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ طِبَاقًا وَجَعَلَ الْقَمَرَ فِيهِنَّ نُورًا وَجَعَلَ الشَّمْسَ سِرَاجًا. See you not how Allah has created the seven heavens one above another, and has made the moon a light therein, and made the sun a lamp? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to reflect on the glow of the moon, a reflection of the sun as it guides at night with its beautiful silver hue, and the glow and warmth of the sun, how powerful, energetic, as it provides nourishment through photosynthesis and nutrients of vitamins, as well as light and warmth through the day. In Surah Anbiya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ كُلٌّ فِي فَلَقٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. And He it is who has created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, each in an orbit floating. The moon has its orbit, the sun has its orbit, and the night and the day have an established place and time. We see the expressions of opposites, the night and the day, the moon and the sun, yet their perfect compatibility with the beauty that exists in their different characteristics and the benefits they bring. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ. He elaborates the signs for people who understand. The one who reflects will experience how the relationships between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creations are so beautiful and so complementing. But when? When they orbit and they follow the path He has set. Even though they themselves are so different, sometimes complete opposites, yet they can live symbiotically, coexisting perfectly. We all have an orbit, and the perfect orbit has been sketched out for us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the definition of our roles and our duties within our homes and within a society, the role we play as a child, a sibling, a parent, a son, a daughter, a spouse, a neighbor, a member of the community. And in all these roles, we continue to be a servant to Allah. He has created all of His creations with perfection, and that perfection manifests when the roles are understood and when the roles complement the other roles around us. All of us are different. All of our children are different. Our spouse is different to us, and yet we complement each other in our own way. In fact, it can be very damaging to want all humans to be like you, to be the same, to be of the same mold. Relationships don't work or even grow in that way. Rather, challenges, difference of opinion, mold us better, groom us internally and externally, adding to our wisdom, our patience, and can bring great benefit. So see how they rise, the moon and the sun, and how they set, their tulu and their ghurub. And because of this, it establishes the night and the day, a functionality, a need, but with beauty and purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, and we have appointed the night and the day as two signs. Then we have made the sign of the night. Then we have obliterated the sign of the night with darkness, while we have made the sign of the day illuminating, that you may seek bounty from your Lord, and that you may know the number of the years and the reckoning. And we have explained everything in detail with full explanation. By giving us this night and day, and by giving us hours of the sun and hours of moonlight, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created seasons for us. Some with shorter days and longer nights, others with longer days and shorter nights. And with the coming of autumn, it helps to create a gradual balance between the toxic heat at times of the summer and the vicious extremes of the winter, so that creatures and all of us do not enter extreme cold from extreme levels of heat all of a sudden. Rather, it is gradual. Otherwise, it could cause harm. And in this way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the spring as a barrier between the cold extreme winter and the sizzling heat of summer, so that we can enter these seasons in a slow and a gradual manner with tartib and preparation in an orderly way. Hence, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is full of hikmah and best in making decisions. And there are some places that hardly see sun or hardly feel the cold. And through these signs, Allah shows us that the easiest places to live and to habitate are perhaps those which see these four seasons. And hence He highlights the benefit of day and night and the benefit of how these opposites complement each other's existence. In Surah Furqan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and He it is who has put the night and the day in succession, for such who desires to remember or desires to show his gratitude. So be the ones that do shukr, show gratitude, as the alternation of day and night happens before you every 12 hours for the one that can see, that use their eyes. And then they're able to take themselves from a concrete reality of night and day to the spiritual reality of how such opposites can complement each other, as long as they respect each other's space and each other's different levels of authority. When one needs to shine or have authority, the other lets it, and they maintain their limelight and the upper hand in a situation for the right amount of time. And they offer that opportunity of light to the other person in the relationship for their right time, helping the whole system to work together symbiotically and bring with it periods of energy and periods of rest and periods of gradual calm with different colors and flavors and hues, all to add to that charm and that functionality. We see that neither the moon nor the sun outdo each other. Each celestial body knows its function and responsibility, and each has its own beauty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the sun a lamp, a siraj, as his hukam, his command to benefit mankind. And he made the light of the moon a reflection of the sun as part of his wisdom, as it lights up a dark night, as it beautifies the sky with its silver hue, and just enough so that we can rest in the darkness around us. Yet it shimmers, allows us to move around, travel, hunt, and hence we are not paralyzed by pitch darkness. So enjoy the artistry of a creator, Allah, as he mixes in a little light in this beautiful canvas so that we can still function in the dark. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that only those that have vision and aptitude to reflect can see in this way. So take time to ponder and introspect at the great azim signs around you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and for the moon we have appointed measured phases until it turned pale, curved and fine like an old branch of date palm. Neither it is for the sun to overtake the moon, nor can the night outpace the day. Each one is floating in an orbit. Scholars have commented on the beauty and difference of both the sun and the moon, how the sun maintains its full round shape even when it sets like a giant biscuit dipping into a simmering cup of tea, the ocean, and how its fullness provides enough light and warmth to the world, yet it functions to tell man the timings in the day as it moves across the sky. Important for starting the day, working, traveling, salah times, and the daily timings in general. The sun does not decrease or increase in size. Whereas the moon is sometimes a full moon, sometimes a half, sometimes a crescent, relaying its information on which part of the month it is, and hence the movement of months and years benefiting man as he computes time. So Allah has made the sun a guide for the times of the day, and the moon as a guide for the time of the month and the year. And both of these celestial bodies have been working for thousands of years at the command of their Rabb, with their continuous and perfect movements, all calculated by Him, their Lord, as they continue to serve Him, and thus they continue to be beneficial. Should then man not reflect how they stay on their path and they benefit? Neither do they weaken in their duties, neither do they slow down. They each have an orbit, a fixed path, and if they stay on this path, they are beneficial. Professionalism at its best, and they stay within their own domains. They don't move into an orbit of each other. And as they exist together in harmony, they have their own purpose and function, and yet they work symbiotically, and yet in complete submission to Allah. And with the perfection of their everyday function, there is no monotony. Every sunrise is different and every sunset is different, as every ray fragments in its own unique way, creating new and unique hues, balanced by the moonlit sky above, where every night is different too. So observe the sun and the moon. Each has its magnificent light, its own nur, given to it with full beauty from its creator. We can't even begin to imagine the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahman. So from the top to the bottom, this universe is created with such originality, fresh and new every day, bringing with it a new angle to appreciate. For who though? For the one that reflects. And remember, if Allah can give nur to His creations, then why don't we ask for it for ourselves too? But who is it for? The one that searches for it, studies, gains the recognition of Allah through observing His signs. and then one submits and enjoys this nur of Allah.